Now, I'm not claiming to be a talented street photographer, but I have worked hard, and I've certainly been lucky at times. Unlucky too. Having a camera in my hand over the last 10 or 12 years has taught me to see things differently. I notice things that I didn't notice before. People even comment, asking, how on earth did you see that? So, if having the camera has taught me to see, then it's really important that I take the camera with me when I go out. That way, I'm going to keep learning to see better. If I don't take the camera, I don't take any photos. And I've taken some of my favourite images at times when I've been tempted to leave my camera behind or keep it buried deep in the bowels of my bag. So was it lucky that I took my camera along for the ride? Indeed, do we make our own luck? And what part does talent play? We probably hardly give these questions a second thought, especially when we're in the flow of creativity out on the street. But we should, because it can improve our practice. So today, we're going to do some work. We're going to think about these things. Street photography is unique as an art form. It captures the essence of everyday life and what it means to be human. It's spontaneous, unpredictable, and it's deeply personal. You only have to go shooting with another street photographer to discover just how subjective it is. You can be yards away from one another in a busy street and capture completely different images and experiences. Success in street photography often depends on three crucial elements: talent, hard work, and luck. Each plays a significant role, and it's the interplay between them that will define a street photographer. Henri Cartier-Bresson said that your first 10,000 photos are your worst, hinting at how much goes into producing something worthwhile. Martin Parr advises us that most of the photos he takes are crap, and that we should take more crap photos to increase our chances of taking better ones. That doesn't mean that we should simply set our camera to continuous shooting, walk down our local high street and blast away randomly at 20 frames per second as we spray and pray. No, it means the more we work at shooting, the better we will become. Malcolm Gladwell, in his book Outliers, made popular the idea that an average of 10,000 hours practice was required to truly stand out in any field. Matthew Syed, in his book Bounce, looks closely at the amount of practice that goes into establishing successful talent. When you consider such names as Mozart and the hours of piano practice that he put in before the age of 5 with a talented pianist father, or the Williams sisters and the dedication and sacrifice of their dad, Richard, to their tennis careers, Tiger Woods and the footage of him as a toddler with a golf club in his hand bouncing balls on its head, David Beckham and his well-honed ball skills, Picasso's endless pursuit of different artistic styles. It's hard to deny that a combination of hard work and the right circumstances led to their success. Talent in street photography often manifests itself as an intuitive ability to see and compose eye-catching and interesting scenes. It's the knack for spotting unique moments and framing them in a way that tells a story. This innate, natural eye for an image can make a significant difference, especially in the spontaneous and unpredictable world of street photography. But while some photographers are seemingly born with an inherent sense of composition and timing, talent can also be cultivated. Studying the work of the great renowned street photographers, such as Henri Cartier-Bresson, Gary Winogrand, Vivian Maier, Saul Leiter, can provide insights into what makes a compelling photograph. Immersing ourselves in the work of the masters and learning how they compose, how they use light, perspective, distance, patterns, emotions, and stories can only inform our own work. The hand in hand with being able to see like a Cartier-Bresson or a Vivian Mayer or a Robert Frank is an intimate knowledge of our chosen camera. There is no point at all in being able to envisage the greatest image ever taken if we miss the shot while we're fumbling with the intricacies of the labyrinthine depths of a digital camera menu, or if we're struggling with shutter speed or exposure or focusing. In short, the better we know our camera, the more intuitive making an image becomes. When you can lift your camera without even thinking about what you're doing, you're giving yourself the best chance of capturing the image as you see it. Talent alone is not enough. A naturally gifted photographer may have an edge, but without the drive to continually improve and adapt, the potential will probably never be realised. Talent should be seen as the foundation upon which hard work builds. While talent can give photographers a head start, hard work is what propels them forwards. Street photography requires persistence. Unlike studio photography, where lighting and conditions can be controlled, street photographers have to navigate ever-changing environments. This means spending countless hours on the streets in all kinds of weather and lighting conditions, often walking away with nothing to show for it. The hard work then extends beyond shooting. It involves relentless practice, studying the work of street photographers, and continuously looking and learning new techniques and technologies. The dedication to refining your craft day after day cannot be understated. Whether it's experimenting with different perspectives or mastering post-processing skills, the effort put into learning and improving is what sets one street photographer apart from another. Hard work means dedication, it means practice, and it means continuous learning. It involves spending countless hours on the streets, camera in hand, ready to capture fleeting moments. The effort put into understanding different environments, anticipating human behaviour, and mastering camera settings, as well as post-processing, is crucial. It's through this hard work that photographers refine their technical skills and their artistic vision. This includes learning how to use light effectively, experimenting with different compositions, and becoming proficient with post-processing techniques. Consistent practice helps in developing an instinct for when and where to click the shutter. Street photography presents numerous challenges: unpredictable subjects, varying light conditions, and sometimes hostile reactions from people. Overcoming these hurdles requires persistence and resilience. Hard work builds the confidence and the quick reflexes necessary to seize the perfect shot amid the chaos of the street. Then there's luck, the unpredictable, elusive, and often fleeting component that can turn a good photograph into a great one. Good luck plays a significant role in street photography due to its unpredictable nature. Sometimes being in the right place at the right time is what makes a shot extraordinary. Good luck might mean turning the corner just as an unexpected scene unfolds, or having just the right light cast shadows that perfectly frame your subject. A chance encounter or a spontaneous event can result in a once-in-a-lifetime photograph. But luck isn't as random as it seems. While it is unpredictable, street photographers can increase their chances of encountering it by being prepared and proactive. As the famous golfer Gary Player once said, "The harder you work, the luckier you get." In street photography, this means putting yourself in situations where your chances of capturing a compelling image are higher. It involves planning, but also being open to serendipitous moments. Effective photographers know that while they can't control luck, they can increase their chances of benefiting from it through preparation and persistence. This means always having your camera ready, exploring new locations, and remaining patient. Luck often favours those who are prepared to seize the moment. So what can we take away from this? Firstly, develop your eye. Spend time studying classic and contemporary street photography. Practice identifying what makes a compelling image. 2. Practice regularly. Try to dedicate time each day, each week, to shoot in different environments. Experiment with various techniques and compositions. Try different focal lengths. Learn your way around your camera's menu. Hone your post-processing skills. 3. Stay prepared. Always have your camera with you. Be ready to shoot at a moment's notice. It's no use having it buried deep in the bowels of your bag when the decisive moment walks past. But be patient. Sometimes the perfect shot requires waiting, something I'm not great at. Find the right place and wait for the actors to enter the scene. This is fishing. Know when it's time to stop and observe, and when it's time to move, time to be a hunter, and be happy with your decision. And number 5, embrace serendipity. Learn to accept that not every shot will be perfect. You will shoot a lot of crap. And sometimes the best photographs come from unexpected situations. It is the interplay between talent, hard work and luck in street photography that makes it both challenging and rewarding. No 2 days are the same. No 2 shots are identical. The thrill of capturing life on the streets is what draws photographers to this genre, and it's what keeps the audience captivated. For aspiring street photographers, the path is not just about honing inherent talents, but about committing to the grind and welcoming the unpredictable. A day on the streets with your camera is a gamble, and the reward is the rush of a successful image, or 2. That's what keeps sending us back out there. That's what turns the hobby into a passion and transforms casual snaps into compelling stories. In essence, the art of street photography is a distillation of what we experience in life. A mix of innate abilities, dedicated effort, and those fortuitous, lucky moments that we just happen to catch. This blend not only makes for powerful photography, but also for deeply fulfilling personal journeys. The most successful street photographers understand that talent, hard work and good luck are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they complement each other. Talent provides the foundation. Hard work builds upon it. And luck occasionally rewards the persistent effort. I've chosen 4 images to share with you from many different years over the last 10 years or so that I've been shooting on the street, and various reasons for choosing them, but they all have a mixture of those 3 components in them really. So first up, I'm going to show you this image, which was taken at Goodwood at the races. It was a beautiful summer evening, a late Friday night. People were mostly dressed up to the nines, had quite a lot to drink. The sun was beginning to set, and I was really just walking around, shooting from the hip. I'd been shooting long enough to have a rough idea of whether I was going to catch something or not with it was a Fujifilm X100F, and with its 23mm lens, 35mm equivalent. I think it is. And so I was used to the settings on that camera, and I was used to shooting from the hip, and I was just really walking around among the crowds, and this chap was coming towards me. He just lit up. He wasn't looking at me, although you can see me just in the shades of his glasses and the mirror in his glasses. But I didn't even really have time to think about this. It wasn't spraying and praying, because I wasn't just shooting blindly. I never have the camera on continuous high speed, or very, very rarely have it on that kind of shooting, and this certainly wasn't. It was a deliberate shot, but it was a fast, instinctive shot as he came towards me, and you can tell by the perspective that I'm shooting from sort of chest, from middle, you know, waist high, hip high, whatever you want to call it, looking up towards him. I don't think for a minute that he even noticed me. But the sort of the messianic appearance, he's coming out of these clouds, there are rays of light through here. He's got the Jesus hair, but he's got the cigarette and the sunglasses, so he's almost like a bad boy Jesus, or a modern day Messiah. This image has actually been written about by Sergio Burns, who's no longer with us, but he used to refer to it as the Jesus of suburbia, and I like that idea. But it's just a moment, and it's just, you know, it's fairly iconic because of all of those sort of religious references with the clouds and the sun, and how he appears. So it's an image that I'm really fond of, and have actually got a really large version of it framed upstairs in the house. The second image is this one. I talked earlier about how I notice things now that I didn't used to see before, and I couldn't believe when I was down here. This was taken on the South Bank on a February morning, bright sunlight, very few clouds in the sky, cold day, but I couldn't believe that nobody else had seen the arrow that the shadow of the building, the roof of the building and the wall on the other side had made this arrowhead with the lines coming in here. I wanted to go up to rush up to people and say, look, can't you see? This is amazing. Of course I didn't. And then it was just a question of the right person to walk through. Now, my one frustration with this image is really that the right person didn't walk through, and as is so often the way in street photography, you have to make do with what comes along. No disrespect to the lovely lady who walked into the scene, and I do love the swish in her red trousers, but I don't know what would have been better in there. But the photo isn't about her, it's about this arrow, but I do think it needs a person walking through it to give a sense of scale. Yes, there are people over here, but also just a sense of dynamism. Otherwise it becomes purely an architectural image. But this is one that took a certain amount of talent, because I don't think I would have noticed this if I hadn't been used to carrying a camera around with me. But also a certain amount of luck, because I've visited this scene many times since, and I have never yet seen this duplicated. It must happen, but I've never managed it. Maybe it's always too cloudy at the time of year when the sun is in that position, but I've never seen this happen again, and I'd love to. The next image I want to share is one where I really worked at it. I'd spotted this chap in a bar. It gives the impression that he's on his own. Actually, he's not. There are other people over this side. But this was taken on Shaftesbury Avenue in London, in Soho. It's a really well-known bar. It's got glass fronts on two sides, so it's easy to look in. There's always wording on the windows. There's some lovely neon further down here, which is out of shot. But he was all alone. It is very, to me, reminiscent of Hopper's Nighthawks painting. If you don't know it, go and check it out. Absolutely amazing. A real Touchstone image for me. And here's this guy seemingly looking at his phone, bottle of wine. What's the story? There's so many things that could be going on here, and I love an image that hints at a story. So I stood outside, not for very long, but I probably took 10, maybe 12 shots, just moving up and down slightly, excluding people from the frame, getting the frame how I wanted it. I liked these lines, this line of dots that stops at his head. I worked the scene until I had it as I wanted it, and of course he didn't see it. He knows about it now because when I posted it on social media, some of his friends told him. He got in touch and I was delighted to send him a print, which I believe he now has hanging in his flat. So great, that's really good. And this was a runner-up in the British Photography Awards in the street category, so it's an image that I'm proud of and has done quite a bit of work for me. The final image is not that one, that's the second image. The final image is this one. It's not particularly a favourite image of mine, but it's here for a reason. This again was taken in Soho, and I'd positioned myself to be shooting through a telephone box. So here's the telephone and the glass, so you've got the reflection here of the chap as he walks through. And I had no idea who was going to come through. I had very little warning of them as they appeared. So he's coming in from here, and I've only really got the time it takes him to go from there to click the shutter. So I had to be fairly quick to respond. And I'm always drawn to somebody exhaling a cigarette or an e-cigarette, which is obviously exactly what happened here. I had absolutely no idea that it was going to form this heart shape. So somewhere between a speech bubble and a heart. It's as if he's saying, I love you, in smoke. That element was sheer luck. I doubt that heart shape could be replicated again. You know, how many times would you have to try before you got that? That is when luck comes in. The talent, I suppose, comes in being able to think, I wonder what I'm going to get if I shoot through a phone box. I may get a reflection. Okay, the reflection is arguably not the important part of this image, and maybe it would be better cropped there. That's only just occurred to me, but that might make a better image. But what I was doing was I was working the scene because I wanted to get a reflection, and I wanted to shoot through to get the frame of the phone box and whoever was walking into it. That was where the talent came in. The hard work came in standing there. Again, it was cold. You can see he's wearing his coat. Standing there in the cold, working the scene, waiting for the right image to walk into the scene and appear. That was the hard work. And the luck was this plume of heart-shaped smoke. So, it's a combination. Talent, hard work, luck. Just as every image we shoot on the street is. It's a balance of the three. Not necessarily an equal balance, usually not. One will outweigh the other two in some capacity. But that's street photography. I hope you've enjoyed this particular video. I hope you found it interesting. It's been a little bit more me talking rather than showing how I do things, but I hope that's been interesting for you. If you've enjoyed it, do give me a like and subscribe to see more of them. I'll see you next time. Take care.